America is a land in crisis, whether we like to admit it or not. The cold, hard truth is that the youth of this land of the free, need to be increasingly brave in the face of growing violence. Last year, 1 in 13 children reported being victims of a violent crime, and over 2,000 school-aged children were murdered in the United States. It is true that not every child uses drugs. Not every child engages in violence. But every child in virtually every school in America sees the signs of drugs, feels the fear of violence, and sooner or later, every child must make one of 3 choices: stand up against violence, join the young thugs who prey on our young people, or stand idly by. And that is why Do the Right Thing is so important. It asks students in middle schools to write about violence that they've experienced and to make sincere commitments in those writings to do the right thing in their own life and help to break the cycle of violence that surrounds them.
One sunny afternoon, on the news they reported a story about 2 high school boys found dead in an alley. They showed pictures of them and of 2 crying families. I know I recognize them. It just hurts too much to recall everything that has happened in the past. There was some information.
These centers would also be a place for youth to come and play basketball or any other sport. They can also do projects and other things to keep them off the streets. But I would also
pain that is so terrible to describe. You try to open your eyes, but realize that your eyes are open, but you're not able to focus or see. You can't hardly breathe because someone has stuff caught in
Doing the right thing these days is very difficult in many ways. The violent movies that we see are the way so many feel they should be. All of the fighting and war are what plots seem to be about more and more. Youth and teens.
Since the inception of the program, over 135,000 children from 450 middle schools in 18 major jurisdictions have participated in the program. Over 50,000 have taken the next step by submitting writings on youth violence. It's a wonderful program that works. The surprise is where the program came from. The program came about indirectly as a result of the actions of one of the 20th century's most violent men, Saddam Hussein. To tell you the story, here's the former President of the United States, the Honorable George Bush.
In 1991, following the successful conclusion of Operation Desert Storm, the people of Kuwait wanted to find an appropriate way to express their thanks to the American people for restoring freedom to their country. Since the children of Kuwait were the ones most victimized by the violence of the brutal occupation by Iraq, the Kuwaitis decided to establish a Peace Memorial Fund, which would support programs in the United States aimed at reducing violence affecting America's young people. The Kuwait America Foundation was established to administer the fund. In 1995, the Kuwait America Foundation developed a pilot program in Washington known as the Do the Right Thing Challenge. The program, which emphasized personal responsibility, challenged students to identify the causes of youth violence and write about what they personally can do to resolve the problem. The Foundation's pilot program was successful beyond anyone's expectations. The students wrote with great hope for America's future, but also talked candidly about their often terrifying personal experiences and their fear of violence. Many of the outstanding responses were published and distributed to community and national leaders across the country. In 1997, based upon the success of the pilot program, the Department of Justice, the National Association of Juvenile Court Judges, and the National Guard Bureau joined with the Kuwait America Foundation to expand the Do the Right Thing challenge to other major cities and counties across the United States. Last year, over 50,000 students from 36 states participated in the challenge. The Do the Right Thing challenge works because it creates a new network of positive communications between our youth, their teachers, and their community. And this is why I support the challenge. And this is why I urge you, America's students, teachers, and community leaders, to get involved, to do the right thing.
Each year, 7th and 8th graders are asked to write an essay, to spell out the problems and talk about solutions. National finalists from each participating city are invited to Washington. The writings of these young people will be published and placed in the Library of Congress.
In this, the dawning of the 21st century, there still exists a frightening, lonely world for too many of our children. It's refreshing to see the commitment these kids make to stay away from drugs and alcohol and the corrupting forces they face each day. Kids know what it takes to do the right thing. I urge you to try the program in your community. It works. Together, we can change their world. Together, we can do the right thing.
Do the right thing, do the right thing, yeah. Do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing, yeah. Do the right thing.
Here is how you can get involved. If you're a community, business, or government leader, work with the National Campaign to Stop Violence to form a Do the Right Thing committee to get the challenge in your city or community. If you're a teacher, principal, or school district superintendent, work with your local Do the Right Thing committee to get the challenge in your classrooms. If you're a corporation, foundation, or an individual concerned with the safety of America's youth, provide the funding necessary to expand the challenge to more middle schools and more 7th and 8th graders. And most importantly, if you're a student, accept the National Campaign to Stop Violence's challenge to do the right thing.
Do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing, yeah. Do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing, yeah. Do the right thing. Come on everybody, get on board with me. We are on a mission to stop violence, you see.